Are you afraid to risk your hard-earned money in binary options? Well, BinaryOptionsCashback.com give you an ability to invest your money without the risk of the initial deposit. How does it function? Would you like to invest in binary options, but it scares you to think that you could lose your money? 1. Select any broker from our selected web banners. 2. Open an account and deposit the recommended amount. 3. Send us an email to webmaster@binaryoptionscashback.com with the following details: name, broker's name, deposited amount, and the desired method to receive your money back, i.e. PayPal, money brokers, or bank account. And within a short duration of 30 days, you will get the return of the deposit. This advertisement comes with no obligations. We don't require any minimum amount of trades, and you can withdraw your deposit whenever you want. On the other hand, you can open an account with any or all brokers listed and receive a consequent refund.
Hello class, this is Brian from FinancialTradingSchool.com and welcome to BO203 Part 1 Introduction to Trendlines. So basically at this point we are now in step 2 out of 3 steps for learning price action techniques. So in step 1 we learned support resistance levels, so that was BO202, split into 3 parts. If you haven't already, you should watch those 3 parts. And for those of you that have watched those 3 parts, congratulations for having endured over 2.5 hours worth of support resistance level chart examples, the introduction to theory, and all that stuff. So now we're moving on to trend lines. So trend lines, it's technically independent of support resistance levels, but it does build on some of the concepts from before. So if you haven't already done so, you should watch BO202 prior to watching this video. And for those of you that have watched it, I suspect that in the future you will be re-watching BO202 to get anything that you missed. So basically at this point, we are continuing where we left off in BO202 Part 3, and as I mentioned in that video, SR levels aren't adept for trends, which is why I was kind of struggling in that video to show you guys how to use it. Although you can use it if you just use the whole, if price breaks support, it goes down, as it comes back up, it will be used as resistance later on. So in that sense, you can still use support resistance levels, and they are universal, but they're not adept for trends. So they won't be used here unless they're part of a pattern formation or a breakout condition. Otherwise, in all of the parts in trend lines, I intend to only use the trend line drawing tool. So basically, trend lines are the prime tool for drawing trending markets, because you can show exactly where the channel is, if it's going down or if it's going up, and basically they're only to be used once the market is actually trending. The transition between ranging to trending market requires prior knowledge from BO202's SR levels, because you need to draw your support resistance levels in order to know what levels have to break, and then once they break those levels, it becomes a breakout condition, and then once it breaks out, it might turn into a trend or it might turn into another range. So that will determine how you trade these. In addition, you should also watch BO106 chart timeframes and BO201 Fibonacci retracements, as these will come in handy. And you'll notice basically everything from SR levels carries over to trend lines very nicely, because how SR levels function, you know, how the support bounces up, resistance bounces down, you know, the rows in a range, so price bounces between the levels, or what happens when they break. Everything that you learn there carries over directly to trend lines, except now basically we have different words for different things in different places. You'll see for the slides as we move along, they're basically the exact same slides as before, except I just switched a few words. So for the function of trend lines, this is a recap from GT202, just like before. Trend lines, like support resistance levels, enclose the price, except now we're not in a horizontal channel anymore, we're in either an upward or downward channel. So price will bounce upwards off of the lower trend line, and the acronym for this is LTL, and price will bounce downwards off of higher trend lines, denoted HTL. So depending on the slide or depending on where I'm talking in the chart examples or whatever, I may use these acronyms.